All right. Hello and good morning and welcome. I'm Jennifer Britton. Whether you are here live, I want to say good morning to you. Happy Monday, Samina. Looking forward to having you with us. Marty is here as well. On Clubhouse, I have Tiff. Tiff's not on computer today, but you saw her on Friday. So we are doing a multi-stream. And you know what? I gotta go. Hold on one sec. All righty. We are at the day, well, officially it's day 4 of the 90-day guide for success, but I'm calling this sort of our day 2 live. It's Monday morning and welcome. I am going to be here with you for 9 minutes of content, and then we're going to move into a 21-minute planning session because it's Monday. So who doesn't want to do a bit of grounding for the week? So my name's Jennifer Britton. I want to welcome you. This is an exciting week because Friday we released the 90-day guide for success, book number 2 in the Reconnecting Workspaces series. So if you haven't met me before, I work primarily in the area of group and team coaching, and specifically on helping virtual, remote, and hybrid organizations, teams, groups, and individuals thrive in this space. So really excited to be here with you. Today is really our day 2 of a live call. And as I said, I'm going to be doing 9 minutes of content. Topic today is all about getting clear on you. And I was excited on Friday afternoon, right at the end of the day, my proof copy of the 90-day guide for success, not to success, but for success arrived. And so I'm going to be reading from it today and really hope that, I know for many of you, you're getting your copies in the mail in the next few days. So today is about getting clear on you. It's Monday, and really I want to give you the opportunity to just take a minute. I'd invite you, actually, if you're going to be here this fall, grab a notebook or grab a new a new piece of paper at least, because it's Monday and I want you to think about what's important for you to focus on this week. In your work right now, what's important to focus on and what's important to get clear. On Friday, I had multiple calls in launch of the book, and I was talking a little bit in one of the calls about what I term the 7 C's of remote enablers. In order to thrive in a space, we need clarity, we need communication, we need consistency, which is why actually I'm showing up every weekday from now until the end of the year. Now, I will not be doing calls on the 25th or 26th of December. I'm also going to take probably next Monday off, which is Thanksgiving here in Canada. I'll keep you posted on that. But, clarity, consistency, building a strong culture, communicating, collaborating, and building community is key. And so I really hope that in this series, whether you're here for just 9 minutes, 9 minutes in Zoom, 9 minutes in other, that you are here. And I just want to make sure I've still got Tiff in the room. Tiff, are you still with me? I might have knocked Tiff out a second ago. No, I think Tiff is there. Okay, perfect. So we are on Clubhouse, which is our experiment right now. In terms of content today, I thought as you think about getting clear, here are 10 things you might want to gain clarity around. How are you building relationships across distance? How are you asking questions and asking good questions? Also, how are you making decisions when you can't see all the information? This, I think, has been one of the biggest challenges in the virtual, remote, and hybrid space. How do we make decisions when information may become uncovered after we actually go down the pathway of problem solving? Another thing you might want to think about getting to know more about or getting clarity around is, like, what are your priorities? What are your priorities, like, on the desk in front of you? And if you collaborate with others, what are their priorities? We also need to get really super clear on our partners' priorities as we move forward. A big thing as well in the remote space is, because many times we're working across borders, is what do we know about other cultures? And what do we know about our own cultural bias? I think this has really been a big learning for so many folks in the last year, especially, not even if we're going global, but within our own countries, right? Or cross borders. I know many of you are in Canada like I am, several in the US. Regardless, East Coast, West Coast, those are very distinct cultures. in and of themselves. And so when we're doing business in a more virtual environment, it can be extremely valuable to really be aware of, what adjustments might I need to make. A sixth area that you may want to gain clarity on is how are you reading energy and tone in a call, right? What are you doing to take the pulse? And in a couple of minutes, we're going to be opening up this line because I really want the back end or the last 21 minutes of these calls to be energy flowing, energy getting. Every day, as I said last week, there's going to be a different focus. So I'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Note that we will move to a more interactive period in the last 21 minutes of the call. And given the time of day, I think most of you will welcome that. I do want to acknowledge we have more than half a dozen people here live on our first Monday morning 7:30 a.m. call. I'm Jennifer Britton, and thank you for making time. I hope that you're going to find that today is a great way to keep your energy moving, right? We tend to sit a lot in this remote space. So how are you building in pauses throughout the day? Today, I'm swimming at 11 a.m. and I'm really super excited. I keep talking about this, but having not been able to swim for about a year and a half, for a woman who swims almost every day of her life, it's just so great to be able to sort of like hang up a call, run to the pool, which is a 7-minute drive from my house, and then I'm back online with a group at 12:30. So what's going to keep your energy moving, right? As you think about this week, we're now in October, we're in Q4. What's going to keep that energy moving for you? Because it's not just about playing hard out, it's also about re-energizing. And that re-energizing for each one of us can be really, really different. So we're going to spend today a little bit of time helping people connect with what's important. Today's focus in our first Monday is going to be looking at a weekly theme and also getting you grounded with your goals for the week. So every day of the week, we'll have a different theme, but it's going to be Productivity Mondays, just to get you that great start to the week. And a couple of more things that you might want to take note of in terms of like, where are you in your own development? How do you follow up with people? And are there any people that you need to follow up with? I have to say on the weekend, I was going through papers on my desk and I unearthed something where I really need to reach out to someone that I hadn't heard from for a couple of weeks. So how do you follow up? And also, how are you ready to prepare and be ready to move and shift? The world is in continuous development. So with that, think about these top 10 things. There may be one or more that you want to add to your list. And really, the intent of the 90-day guide for success is to get you thinking in sporadic bursts, right? This book is written in a 90-day format. As I said, you're going to see your what, so what, and now what. And I'm taking these top 10 things actually from page 28 on day 2. So whether or not you started on October 1st, it doesn't matter. I'd encourage you to really pick this up, work through it on a daily basis. It will take you about 15 to 20 minutes a day. There are spaces for you to actually take notes. So you'll see this is the text box that we just went through. And then over on this next page, page 31, I've asked you to think about on a personal level, ask yourself, where do you want to be a year from now? Think about a year, Q4, 2022, or whatever year you're in, and think about where you want to be in general with your work. So we talked on Friday with some of these keys to success with remote work: being visible, adding value, being consistent, leveraging your habits, and also fostering your relationships. These are themes that we will continue to revisit week to week to week and day to day to day here at our 90-day process. So one final piece to leave you with is just a couple of the keys to success. I want to introduce these. They are almost like a final layer to put on our personal habits onto more of the things that you can be doing on a regular basis. You've seen some of these, but in this 9-box or 3x3 matrix, it's just, I think, a little bit easier to work with. And I'm going to get you involved here. So I'd love for you, now that you've been on the line for almost 9 minutes, now is the time for me to flip the switch and let's get some interactivity happening. So your coffee is probably starting to kick in, or whatever you're having at this morning, if you are in a morning or lunch. And I'd like for you to grab your annotation function. So at the top of your screen, you're going to see you're viewing Jennifer Britton's screen. Click on view options and then click on annotate. And all 9 of these things are things that we can be leaning into. So I'd love for you to grab your stamp function. I'm going to walk through these, and please stamp for us the one area that you'd like to have as a touch point this week. So when I say a touch point, almost an anchoring theme. 3 months is almost 13 weeks. It's about 12 and a half weeks. So every week on Monday, I'm going to be bringing back this slide, asking you, what do you want to focus on this week? So do you want to be visible? Do you want to offer value? Do you want to be consistent? Someone's already claimed follow through. Be present and be visible. Again, a little overlap there. Do you want to collaborate? Do you want to find common ground with the folks that you're working with? Do you want to leverage strength? Or do you want to consider what's beyond the screen? So what's beyond the screen simply indicates getting you to think about context, how there is connection between you and others on a call. I like to always think in the calls that I lead as a coach and as a virtual facilitator, what is happening beyond the screen? And often in my calls, I'll get people to bring in these elements into their work. So again, this comes from the 90-day guide for success. We'll be using this and revisiting this every week to get you thinking about a weekly touch point as we kick off on Monday. So fantastic. We've got be visible, offer value, be present, follow through, leverage strengths. And here's what I'd love to invite is just any comments. So we won't be able to hear these on Clubhouse. What I'm going to be doing is just sort of like restating them. So Tiff and others in Clubhouse can hear that. Would anyone like to share verbally their commitment for the week? Or simply, what made you stamp this? Is there a project that you're working on? I'm going to be quiet for a sec. Would anyone like to share this verbally? And if you would, just raise your hand, physically or digitally. I'm going to just widen my screen. I don't have all of you up on my screen yet. Nina's smiling. So Nina's early morning. I'm not going to pick on you yet, Nina, because it's still very early in the morning. She's giving me 2 thumbs up. But would anyone like to just share? Oh, and there we go. Would anyone like to share what yours is? Cheryl, do you want to go ahead? And
yeah, in Q4, I'm continuing to work on my business. So I want to follow through and reaching out to some clients I haven't heard from since the end of May, just to see what they're up to.
Okay, fantastic. So outreach. And, you know, I think what's been interesting in certainly pandemic times, time has taken on new meaning, right? And it's been a different pace of business for many in this last year. So always remember, relationships are at the heart of our work. Keep following through. And good morning to you, Marty. How are you doing? Let's hear what you're focusing on.
It's early.
It's early, but you're here.
It's early for me. Well, I said follow through too, but it's follow through on the things that I'm already doing to be sure that I don't. Sometimes I will start something and then not be sure how to go forward, and then sort of hesitate to either contact the person again, or there's a piece of it that I have to do that I'm not sure about. So I want to be sure that I keep ahead of the curve on everything.
Good, yeah. And you know, sometimes it can feel like those gas pedals, gas and brake, right? Am I putting on the gas? Am I like taking my foot off the gas? So follow through. I'd love for everyone on, you know, who's either listening to this live or listening to this on demand to think about one relationship you would like to follow through this week. It doesn't have to happen on Monday, but the beauty of a Monday call is that it sets us up for the rest of the week. So take some notes. Again, I want to walk my own talk. I've got my little like binder here. And that reminds me, actually, something I shared on Friday. There is a downloadable 90-day format, and I'll give you the link to it, because as you go, I'd love for you to either put a gold star or at least put a check mark. So we started on Friday with welcome and getting started. Some of you may have continued through the weekend, and others might just have done the Friday. And today is day 2, obviously, with you getting focus and getting clear on your role. Now that link, so I've got a couple of links here and I'm not sure which one is which, but I'm going to just give them to you verbally. So if you want a copy of the book, you can go to bit.ly/90-day guide RW. That's to order the book, bit.ly/90-day guide RW for Reconnecting Workspaces. So that's to order the book. But if you actually want to get the calendar, I'm going to give the wrong link here. So let me go ahead just a slide or two. Let's see if I've got it built in from Friday. I may not, but I may. Let's see how organized I was. I don't have that. So it is a calendar link. I will include that both on my Facebook page. And again, you can find us at facebook.com. And all of this is going into the virtual and remote Visionaries Hub. So with that, I will get you the link, but this is a nice segue because now we're going to transition into our weekly focus. So week 1 of this series is all about building trust. And what you can see here on the screen are our weekly formats, I should say. So let me just save this. I'm going to clear this, clear all the drawings. There we go. So week 1 is all about trust. And what I wanted to do in pulling the 90-day guide together was give people not only just the daily focus, but this weekly arcing. So we've already started arcing into this notion of follow through, which is going to automatically start to develop some trust. As we kick into each week, I'm going to be introducing that week's theme with just a quick reading around it. I will say what you will find in the 90-day guide are some of the things that I've become quite well known for. This notion of the triad of trust, safety, and connection. And if you've heard me speak at any point in the last 4 years, you've heard me talk about this triad. It looked like notes before, but now I put it into a triangle because it really represents that if we do not have all 3 of trust, safety, and connection, things will get unbalanced. And what's absolutely essential for our relationships and our results in the virtual space is that we have trust. If we don't have trust, people won't show up, or they'll show up and they won't come back. So this week, the meta theme is trust. And I want to invite you just to reflect on, very high level, the state of trust in your arena. When you get a copy of the book, you'll be able to do a trust sort of micro self-assessment where you can rate yourself on 9 core behaviors. And I'll just give a couple of those 9 core behaviors this morning. But one of them is what we've been talking about, walking the talk. So how are you walking the talk in your work this week? And also, how are you setting clear expectations? So 2 themes we've had today, clarity. So in terms of building trust, how do we create clear expectations? I'm available at this time, but not at that time. Might be as simple as that. It could be, here's what you can expect from me. In terms of the service I'm offering, here's what you can expect. And being really clear on those parameters. So I really want to invite you, there are 9 that you'll see on page 19, actually, of the guide. But check out how you can walk the talk. Also, set clear expectations, and then there are 7 others. So the quote for the week, consciously managing boundaries in a group setting is an essential way to sustain and deepen the safety that people feel. Many of you work as group coaches, so think about how you're consciously managing boundaries in a group setting as a way to sustain and deepen the safety people feel. As I say, trust takes on new meaning in the remote and hybrid space. It's an essential element ensuring that not only do I show up, but I show up ready to do my best work. And that's my hope for you this week, that this week you will have a chance to really show up for your best work. I hope that you'll be back next week. And before we go with or wrap up for today, I want to introduce you to a section of the book that you'll see each and every week. And there's space in your weekly reflections to actually note down your top 3 focus areas or priorities for the week. So I'd like to invite you right now to write out what are your top 3 goals this week. Physically write down those goals. Make sure, of course, that they are SMART. and SMART-E, so that they're not only specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, but that they're exciting. If our goals aren't exciting in this space, we won't follow through. So I'm going to give us 2 minutes on the timer so we can just ease into this and not feel rushed. I'm going to ease in and just set the timer here, 2 minutes. So whether you're on Clubhouse or whether you are here with us on Zoom, grab your pen and please note down for yourself. The question is, what are your top 3 goals for the week? Enjoy getting smarty with those. Okay, so that is our 2 minutes. Here's what I want you to do as a part 2, because we want to get really granular. For one of them, I want you to write out at the end of the week, success will look like. So for one of those goals, at the end of the week, success will look like, and fill in the blanks. This is our litmus test to make sure that we've been smarty with them. Just take a minute to do that for one of your goals. What will success look like at the end of the week? Okay, that's it. So I hope you've got a little bit more clarity now on your goals for the week. If you'd like to share them, by all means, just pop those in chat. Just to recap what we've done today, we did our 9 minutes focusing in on you and thinking about what's going to get you clear on your work. We then shifted into this part 2 of the first of the 21 minutes. And just note that the 21 minutes every day is going to have a different focus. Mondays, it's going to be like this, getting you grounded for the week, thinking about planning. Tuesdays, we're going to move into something different. So come on back tomorrow. hopefully you will be available. 7:30 a.m. I'm here. If the time does not work for you, just note that for a 48 to 72 hour period, these recordings will be up live on YouTube. After that, I'll be pulling them down, and this is going to become the part of a whole new on-demand online program. So with that, I want to say a big thank you, and I'd love to hear if anyone wants to share their goal in terms of what are you working on? What is it that you're going to take focus on personally? I've got two big rocks. I've got a lot of speaking this week, so I want to make sure that they're like really value packed, as I think usually they are, value packed speaking. But I'm going to close the cottage this week on a personal level. We're closing up the cottage next weekend, which is always a bit of a sad thing, but it also means that then I have a little bit more brain space and time space because I'm not running from one place to the other. So would anyone else like to share a personal or a professional goal that you've set? And because we know that the act of publicly stating it can actually increase the chances that it gets done. Anyone want to share their goal in its smarty way? Cheryl, over to you.
So getting back to my my indication that follow through was my focus. I'm going to contact 4 clients and just confirm their status and or their commitment to continue on with their coach on their coaching journey.
Fantastic. Clarity equals success, I do believe, right? And I hope that you'll enjoy those outreach calls. Excellent. Anyone else want to share before we go to wrap up? Marty, and then Samina. Yeah, go ahead, Marty.
Me?
Yes.
I have a potential group client, and I will have had the first discussions with them and be on the way to making an offer and having a contract with them. I'm not sure exactly where I'll be in that process, but I will be at least farther along than I am now.
One step a day, right? Consistent
right.
action, daily steps plus consistent action equals momentum. That's the plan, do,
Yes.
track mantra. And I hope that you're starting to see that this body of work ties into plan, do, track. So Samina, you get final words before we go to wrap up. What are you focused on this week?
Hello, thank you. So I wrote down 3. So I have to, actually my sessions for my workshop, they're on every Wednesday evening. So I'm creating the workshop as I go along. So the session for this week is on actually boundaries. That's the topic. So I have a book that I need to read. So I've started reading it. I've got different resources as well. So of course, my goal is to finish reading that book. And of course, I also wrote what success will look like. I'll be better well-informed, like on that subject, right? And so my other 2 were, I'm also going to be writing my CKA, Coach Knowledge Assessment, in 2 weeks. So I'm going to be covering at least, I have about 5 documents to cover. So I'll be covering at least 2 of those this week. And then I have an assignment for my essentials course that I'm taking, the essentials of group coaching. So I need to do that by the end of the week. So already in my mind, I have when I'm going to do that. First 2 days of the week, I'll probably do 1, then the next 2 days and that. So thank you.
Look at the clarity, 30 minutes, that's all it takes. So with that, have a great day. Thank you for joining us. And I'll hope to see you tomorrow morning as we continue down this pathway. So have a good one, everyone. Take care.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.